It can certainly feel that performance management has these standalone processes that happen at mid-year or at end of year, where there's this crunch to create this documentation and produce this output that is someone's performance review. But really, ideally, this is a culmination of events that happen every day, from planning management and outlining a strategy for the goals of the performance review cycle, to identifying what the objectives and goals will be, to then actually developing that performance. The most time is spent here. If we think about the 1 or sometimes 2 performance cycles that organizations have each year, those process cycles being the time that we have to write the documentation and submit ratings to our HR or our people operations, maybe they cumulatively cover maybe 1 to 3 months total out of the year. The rest of the year, we are ideally developing that performance in our regular one-on-ones, where we're coaching team members toward professional organizational goals, where we're giving them feedback consistently that's equitable, high quality, and actionable. So that then when the official processes start up and we're called on to actually evaluate performance, we have the data to write formal performance reviews. So here at Hone, we recommend a 4-step model. This is the SBIW model that can be used for feedback in the performance cycle when we're focusing on creating a great performance review process. The SBIW model helps us to deliver consistent and objective feedback. The first 2 components of the model are situation and behavior. This is where we objectively share what was observed. And here, we want to avoid things like generalization. So you'll want to avoid using terms like never or always. You'd also want to avoid comments that seem to describe how the team member is as a person. We want to focus on what has been observed throughout the performance review period. What happened? Where did it happen? And we want to be careful to describe actual observable behavior. This helps us stay away from things that could be subjective or things that are up to our interpretation. So an example for this, for a performance review, could be something like, throughout this year, I've observed you gaining buy-in from various levels of management and positively influencing situations without official authority. Being able to outline these situations is critical to the performance review process, so capturing this feedback throughout the year is really important. When it comes to impact, this is where we describe the results of the behavior on the team, business, or you. This component can help the recipient understand why the feedback is important enough to be included in their performance review. Arguably, one of the best parts of the SBIW model, and my personal favorite, is the W, the way forward. The way forward is an opportunity to holistically discuss the review and how your feedback landed. You might ask, what are your thoughts? Or is there anything you disagree with? Asking questions invites the recipient into the conversation and into that two-way dialogue. The key here is to be open and curious. And from here, we can identify where we go next. What plans will we establish? What goals will we set? How will the team member address opportunities for improvement or continue their trajectory of growth? This is an impactful growth and feedback opportunity, all wrapped up in an easy-to-use framework. So the SBIW model is a great tool for performance reviews. It helps in providing clarity and specificity so that feedback is more actionable, more understandable. It also promotes consistency in feedback when this model is used throughout your teams or throughout your organization. It focuses on objective feedback rather than judgments or interpretations. So it helps to reduce the risk of bias. Sometimes feedback makes people nervous or anxious, or they're not sure what they're going to say in the moment. So having a framework really helps for leaders to be able to share feedback in a way that is clear and understandable by the person that's receiving the feedback.